Hi, welcome back to another episode of Community Conversations. I am joined today with Dr. Etu from our business school, business college, and I want to give this opportunity to have him introduce himself. Dr. Etu?
Hey, Teddy. Thank you so much for having me here today and the Community Conversations. So as Teddy mentioned, my name is Dr. Etu, and I'm an assistant professor in the College of Business. And I think I've been in SJSU for one year now. So excited to be here today with you, Teddy, and looking forward to some of the questions that you will be asking me. I have my pen, paper, and calculator already. So just let me know if we need to do any calculations about.
Of course. You just forgot the protractor as well.
Absolutely.
Right. Maybe let's start with this. As you're talking about your experience, which we'll talk about, but looking back through your history or your career as a student, whether it was undergrad, graduate, or your doctoral program, what were some of your takeaways as a student? So, what went well, what didn't go well, and what were some of those tips and advice that you can give us?
Oh, Teddy, man, just scratching my head because I think I went to school back in the 19th century. So that's like maybe 40 years ago. I'd leave them to find out how old I am. So, but yeah, I did really enjoy my college experience. That's one thing for sure, I would say. So, and I'd definitely advise everyone to enjoy your time in college, right? So, I think while I was there, a lot of good things did happen, right? And it was basically because of the way I set myself up, right? And I would advise SJSU students to do the same, right? Have an open mindset, because that allows you to learn, right? So, and that's what I did during college. I had an open mindset and embraced all the opportunities that came my way and learned from each of those opportunities. So my first advice, or should I say, my first takeaway from my experience in college was having that open mindset, right? And wanting to learn. And I would also give that as an advice to an incoming or existing SJSU students. And then my second takeaway from college, I think that would be basically from a parent perspective, because my parents wanted me to enjoy my time in college, right? Like take it serious and everything, right? Like pass all my classes and all those different things, but then enjoy my time in college, right? So basically what they did was to push, mentor, and advise me in every single thing, or every time I basically reached out to them for anything, right? And that was one thing that made me enjoy college. I didn't see it as maybe I saw it as an opportunity to escape from the house, right? Like other students, I did see it as that, right? And as an opportunity to escape from the house and not be at home with them. But then I always found myself calling them to ask them that, hey, this is what is happening. What do you think about it? Can you give me an advice on it, right? And they gave me like their sincere advice on it, and that basically helped me. So having that advice, right, or having people to always run to and talk to, that was the second takeaway from my entire college advice, because it helped me stay in the right path right through my college. And I know things may be tough for other students. They might be from single family homes, or maybe being orphans, no parents or whatsoever, or maybe even broken homes and all those different things, or maybe even have issues with both parents, that they don't talk to them and stuff like that, right? But yes, you might have those biological parents, right? If you have difficulties reaching out to them, I completely understand that and things like that. But then you have people like the professors, right, who can at least fill some of those gaps required by your parents. So please go meet them, right? Seek advice from them, right? Even people from maybe the counseling department, or the university housing and student life, or even the career services, right, could help you with some of those advice that may come from a parent, right? Because those people working in those positions are parents themselves, right? And they also have children that would ask them those same questions which you're asking them. So don't be shy or whatsoever. Just reach out to those people. Apart from the fact that I had parents, all those people I just mentioned, I asked them a lot of questions, right, in order to make my college experience go well. And then I think I did love this other one too. I was actively involved in college. Right? I was always busy, right? I was busy in a good way, right? Because I found myself in leadership positions. I always wanted to go for competitions. I always wanted to participate in study abroad programs. I always wanted to go for field trips to industry and see how construction, either for road or dams and all those different things, were being done, because I had my undergrad in civil engineering. So I wanted to see how everything I was being taught in class was being done in real life. So I was exposing myself to different opportunities. That doesn't mean I did not find time for other activities like soccer, like playing soccer or playing video games. I am a huge addict to those two things, right? I'm a video gamer and I'm a huge soccer fan. So I had a lot of time, but I was actively involved in college, and that shaped helped me to have a really good time in college. And then my last key takeaway for me from my college experience was networking. Super powerful, right? But we have to be careful, right? Super powerful, but we have to be careful, right? I networked with the good people and networked with the bad people, right? And then I was able to sit down, like, who is going to contribute to my life to move me forward, and who's not going to contribute to my life and would move me backward. I learned a lot, right? Because you move with the wrong crowd, you face the consequences. Then you have to make the decision. Okay, I need to drop all these people. They're not good for my life, right? I learned that, and I did drop a lot of them, right? And then I stayed with the ones that were going to help propel me forward. So it's powerful, and there's the reason why I'm using that word powerful, right? Because if you have that open mindset, you would learn from your mistakes, and then you use that to push you. So last key one was networking. So it's powerful. It has two-sided. It's two-sided. There's the advantages and the disadvantage. Be able to weed out or fish out the weed and take those ones that would propel you forward. So, yeah.
Maybe let's dig a little bit more in terms of some of the things that you talked about. I categorize it as how do you build your community? What did you do to build your community and connect with or network with the people that helped you succeed or help you keep that open growth mindset? What were some of those important things for you to think about when you were a student for you to be successful and build that community?
So I think I'll probably give them as a list, right? So the first one is basically, I would say, hanging out, right? Hanging out with either it was my friends or my professors or my mentors, right? It could be maybe over lunch or breakfast or dinner or just stuff like that, right? That way I shared my experience with them. I would ask them questions, they would give me advice here and there and all those different things like that, right? And then the next one was going to conferences, right? Undergraduate conferences, for example, right? So I was exposed to students from other universities, and I learned how the culture and the way of life was from their university and from their region and all those different things. So that kind of shaped me a little bit. So when I was about going to grad school, it's like, I think I talked to this person and this is how this university was. I think I talked to this person, this is how. So all of those comments and feedback and everything kind of shaped me to know, okay, do I want to go to this university in this state, or do I want to go to that university in that state, and those different things like that. The other thing that helped me connect with people, especially my peers who took the same courses as me, was creating study groups, right? So I tell my students, teaching or learning, I see it as a two-way interaction, a two-way communication. As a professor, I never want to go to class and just stand in front of the class and talk for an hour, 15 minutes, or for 3 hours. For me, that's not teaching. That's not how I see teaching. If I go to the class, even if I talk for 20 minutes, I want to give the student an opportunity to also talk for maybe 10 or 15 minutes, right? Because you learn from me, I learn from you, right? They may ask me questions that would kind of put my brain into a thinking mode. It's like, okay, I never thought about it this way. Probably that makes sense. Okay. And then I probably go back to my drawing board and think about your comment. Or you might ask me a question and I tell, oh, no. That's not what it means. This is what it means. I have just learned again what a particular topic means. And I've been able to transfer that learning or what I've learned or that knowledge to you, and you can now learn the proper meaning of a particular topic. So we always created that study groups where after class we would meet up in the library, we would study together, we would ask ourselves questions and all those different things. And sometimes the really difficult questions we ask ourselves, which we can't answer, we brought it over to the class and asked the professor in class. That was a good way to make connections with ourselves. And to be sincere, it did pay off for me, right? Especially in my grad school, because the people I worked with in study groups and everything, after the master's, they all graduated, but I kind of stayed on to my PhD. And when it was time for me to graduate and I was looking for a job, I called some of them who were now in like managerial roles in different companies. I was like, yo, E2 is about graduating. Can you put in a recommendation for me? And they were like, sure. We're like, no hassle or no issue or whatsoever. And when I read through some of the recommendations they gave to me, man, I was like, are you sure that's me? So, because they basically stated what they know from me having been together in study groups and project team members together and all those different things like that, right? So that's one way to connect with your person. I know some other people do it maybe, I think I would say I did it physical connection, right? Some other people would maybe do Instagram or TikTok and all those different things, right? whatever works for you is what I would say, but don't just be serious about it, right? And then another way I connected with my peers was playing games together, right? Video games, soccer games, watching soccer together, everything. So yeah, I even with my I played in my I came all the way from Michigan, and with my students at Michigan, I played soccer a lot with them. So yeah, and then video games as well. So yep.
Thank you for that. Maybe let's talk more, as you're talking about the idea of connecting and connections, let's connect with you a little bit, and let's dig into who you are and what you're about. Maybe let's start with this. Can you tell me about something other people may think it's boring, but you think it's fascinating?
I think when I tell this to people, they kind of raise an eyebrow. For me, things that are fascinating for me, cooking. I cook a lot, so, and it's fascinating. I enjoy it, right? You really don't find a lot of males that want to go into the kitchen and do all the cooking and all those different things. So I think probably 55% of the time you find me in the kitchen cooking something. So at least I haven't burned the house down yet, so that's good.
So what's on the menu for this week?
I did cook some Nigerian soup. So yep, and I do plan on cooking a dish that I'll probably tell you as we proceed in this today.
Absolutely.
So I'm gonna keep my lips sealed. And then the other thing that I find fascinating is driving. I just love to get into my car and just drive around and all those different things like that. So I do that a lot. So yeah, those are the two things that other people might find boring, but it's always exciting for me. So
awesome. Yeah. Then let's go to the next part, which is the lightning round. And I foresee this might be where you'll share a little bit more about what you were alluding to earlier. But what we call the lightning round, I'm going to ask you some questions. Just let us know which one you pick top of your mind. All right? Okay. So what do you prefer, coffee, tea, or boba?
Tea.
Favorite ice cream flavor?
I would just go with two, strawberry and vanilla. So
okay. Yeah. Favorite food?
Okay, now that's where this comes in. It's called the Nigerian jollof rice with some beef, right? It's basically some white rice, maybe if you like basil rice and or Thai rice and stuff like that, but it's basically like some white rice put into a spicy tomato sauce that has been properly fried and steamed and everything, and then you basically just mix it and then allow it to really cook, and it's amazing. So yeah, so some Nigerian jollof rice with some beef. So yeah,
sounds amazing. And in a way, I kind of smell that toasty of the rice. Ooh, okay. Luckily, we still got a couple more hours before food, lunchtime. But let's switch gears. Coke or Pepsi?
Although I've had those two drinks a lot of times, they're not my favorite at all. So I would go with Fanta.
Oh, okay. Okay. Salty or sweet?
Sweet all day. I would only do salty if I'm taking some fries, and that's it. But sweet all day. So
yeah. Then What about waffles or pancakes?
Never had any of those, so I don't even know how it tastes like. So I
Okay.
can't even say. I can't even. Yeah, I've not had any of those before. So
Okay.
yeah.
The last movie you saw in the theater?
No Time to Die, James Bond.
Okay. Last TV show or series you watched?
SWAT, LAPD SWAT. Yeah.
Furthest place you traveled to?
Um. So I maybe since it's been 1 year now since I moved to California, so I've really not I've done a couple of traveling from California, but I wouldn't consider it like the farthest, right? But when I was in Michigan, from that point, the farthest place I traveled to was Vancouver from Michigan, right? Because it was going like from one end of the country to like another end of another country, right? And then the second farthest place was going from Michigan all the way to Dubai. That was a 2-day trip.
Oh, wow.
So just getting from Michigan to Dubai, it took 2 days. So that's the farthest. So I'm looking and embarking on some really far trips from the starting point as California this summer. So let's see how that goes.
Safe travels.
Thank you.
And then last question is, what is an item on your bucket list?
I have so many items on that inside that bucket, man. I would say a visit to Bora Bora, which is a French Polynesia island in the South Pacific. A very serene environment, and I maybe go on a cruise ship over there or something. But I definitely want to visit Bora Bora, so and see how it is. So yeah.
Awesome. Thank you so much for the time that you spent with us, Dr. Etu. Before we let you go, what is the best way for us to contact you if we have students that want to learn more, seek mentorship or some guidance from you? What's the best way for them to get a hold of you?
Either via email or Discord.
Okay.
So I think I'll share my email and Discord details with you.
Perfect. And then we'll post it at the bottom for
Exactly.
y'all to get a hold of Dr. Etu.
Yep. And then you can attest to this study. I do have a super fast response time. So you send me an email, I respond to you like immediately. So yeah.
And that I can definitely confirm as well. With that being said, thank you so much for this opportunity that you spent with us today to get to know you a little bit better. Thank you, Dr. Etu.
No, you're welcome, Teddy, and thank you also for having me here. So it's been a fun time. So.